family. What is going on? Oops. I'm opening up a lot of stuff. Alright, so let's dive right into it. I'm gonna give it a minute. Actually, let me I gotta put the link inside my Telegram chat. So let's do that. Cause I know they waiting on me. Alright, so I'll give it a quick second for that to for everybody to hop on. And then we'll dive right into it. My bad that I'm a little late, chat. I was out to eat with my family, and it ran over a little longer than anticipated. So I was going to cancel class, and I was going to make it on Monday, but then I'm like, nah, can't make it on Monday because it's Labor Day, and then I already got to meet with my other students on Monday. So I'm like, yeah, I can't cancel it. So here we are. We are here today, and we are going to dive right into the charts. I won't make this this call super long, but we do got a few things to go over. We got a gold, of course. We talked about gold last week, and gold literally played out to the T last week, right? And then we got US 30 and NASDAQ that we need to go over as well, right? So let me see. Okay, we got a few people on here now. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. Last week, we were here. We talked about this coming up, this pulling back to this area. So this is why it's important for y'all to be inside of my free Telegram chat, because I literally went over this inside of the Telegram chat. And then, like I gave y'all the updates throughout the whole week on what we was expecting for gold. So y'all could have taken advantage, right? So let's just go. Let me show y'all where we was at last week. So as you can see, oops, let me move all this stuff away. Last week we were here. And then I had put this screenshot right here, right? So this is where we were at. I said, watch price here. And then actually, no, last week I didn't even go over gold. So I put the screenshot inside of my Telegram chat. So that's why it's another reason why for y'all to be in there, because I went over NAS and US 30 last week, but gold, I forgot to send a screenshot or finish the markup. So I dropped it in the Telegram chat, but ultimately we were looking for a price to come back to this area. Remember, we had this break of structure last week where price broke this previous higher low. I mean, not higher low, I'm tripping. Lower high, we broke that structure. We came back to retest this area, and I said, watch price here. From here, we had that buy, and the price literally played out to our negative 61.8 and hit 690 pips. And then we even continued to push up for 1,000 pips. And if you're inside of the free signals chat, then you know we caught this move. Literally, we bagged over 400 pips this week inside of the signals chat, just trading gold alone. So definitely take advantage. If you want to be inside of the free signals chat, just go to my free Telegram chat and then follow the pinned post. I'll literally tell you how to get access to it. You're just gonna need to send me a screenshot, and then let me know that you are signed up under my broker affiliate link, and then I will give you access to the free signals chat, right? So and I'll just show you guys what the free signals chat looks like, just so y'all could get an understanding. Here we are. So like I mentioned, this is the gold buys. We took both of these entries here, so this entry and this entry, and then it's hit that negative 61.8 take profit level that I was talking about here. And then for the people that's inside of here, like you can see, like it's 55 join requests. If you are still in a join request, then that just means that you did not follow the directions that I talked about inside of my pinned post. So to show that, you just here. This is the pinned post. You follow those directions, you get access to the signals chat, right? And you can see some of the members that are in here have been making money off of the trades that I called for the overall chat, right? So you can see that was the last trade that we took that gold buy, but we took 2 entries off of that, and like I said, it was over 300 pips, and I really need to update the signal weekly pip count, but it's well over 400 pips for this week, right? So, and if you're not inside of my free Telegram chat, then you need to be in there. I think the link should be in the description. Yeah, the link is in the description if y'all want to be in here. So what I was talking about was that we went over this. So on Sunday, I dropped this screenshot on I was looking for gold, and then throughout the week I gave some motivation, and then I went over US 30 gold and NASDAQ, and I talked about the buys, and then I talked about how I was looking for more buys on Tuesday, and then how we were maintaining structure, and that's this second portion right here. So you can see that this buy that I mentioned inside of the Telegram chat as well definitely shot up to those targets and played out beautifully. So it's about, just being understanding of the market. And if you want to follow all of the updates that I have throughout the chat, then just like I said, join with the link in the description. It'll say my free Telegram chat plus free trade checklist. Just click that link and then fill out the information and you'll get access to it, right? So with enough of that being said, currently let's go over gold and where we are currently at, so that I can give you guys the analysis for the week. So on a weekly time frame, as y'all know, I always start from the highest time frame. We can see that we ended the week very bullish, so that is a sign that we need to pay attention that price could continue to print higher highs, because why? We have been forming in an overall uptrend, forming higher highs and higher lows, right? So, but one thing we can pay attention to is that we are at this level of resistance. You can see here, previous weekly time frame, we came to the same level, then we dropped. So we need to be mindful of that. On a daily time frame, we're at the high of this consolidation. So literally, oh shit, damn, I was supposed to, hold on. My students on my Zoom link, I was supposed to open that up. Whoops, my bad, hold on. And let me share my screen on that. All right, so my Zoom people, my bad, I forgot to put the Zoom link. But hopefully y'all can hear me now on Zoom, but just pay attention to the screen because I'm just now starting to go over gold, right? But overall, what I was mentioning is that on the daily time frame, we have this level of resistance. So the story here on this daily time frame is that every time price came to this level of resistance, what did it do? It dropped, it dropped, it dropped, it dropped. So we are in this area again. So there's a high probability chance from this area that we could potentially see a drop, right? That's based off of what has been happening in the past. Does that mean that we blindly sell? No, it just means that we pay attention to it and use the data that we have from the previous, from the past to let us know that there is a sign that we could potentially push down from this area. However, if we do not push down from this area and we get a brand new impulse that breaks this structure, that is a sign that the market wants to continue to go bullish. We'll be looking for a correction before giving us a continuation, right? So that's something that I want to pay attention to this week to see if we will respect this area or if we will get a break and a retest to continue to go to the upside, right? Now that of course is on the daily time frame going down to H4. It's pretty much telling us the same story. If I turn my annotations back on, you can see that this level, like I said, is a level of resistance. So I'll go ahead and just mark this level off as one big zone as such, right? So that is the zone that we need to pay attention to in this particular area. And then let me make sure that I have a precise Okay, perfect. So as you meant, like I mentioned earlier, we hit this negative 61.8 TP, and then also this other fib that we had on hit negative 27 TP as well. So from this area, we are at a main resistance level. Damn, hold on. I misspelled resistance. Level and hit negative 27 TP. Wait on break of structure for sales or a new bullish impulse to continue to buy. All right, cool. So that's the note that I have on here for this overall bias. Now I can delete this and delete this because we don't really need that anymore. But the one thing that we want to pay attention to is this high point that we took out here. This is the most recent high that just got broken. So we definitely want to be mindful of that. And then I can get rid of all of this stuff because we don't really need this stuff. Going forward, just to clean up the chart just a little bit so that we don't got hella shit on the screen. And get rid of all of that stuff, right? All right, cool. So based off of that, let's go down to the H1. H1 time frame is pretty much telling us the same thing. Now going down to M30, students, you already know this is kind of giving us a setup. It's giving us a ascending channel here on M15, and then we just had a break of structure here. So you can see this is a ascending channel, and it's also giving us divergence. Divergence is a sign that the market is about to potentially reverse. So what should we be looking for tonight? We should be looking for a reversal, right? So let's see if we can find an example. Something like this, where we had a ascending channel, we broke, structure, retested, pushed down. That's exactly what I'll be looking for continuing this week, to start this week, I should say. Now, we do have Labor Day tomorrow, so I wouldn't be surprised if this consolidates during the New York session tomorrow, but overall, this is what I'll be looking for to start the week. And then I'm only going to make this come back to this high point right here, because we don't know if this will be respected or if it'll just burst right through, right? So from here to here, that's still a solid almost 200 pips. So this is the move that I'll be eyeing this week. I like that setup a lot. Coming into New York session tomorrow. And then, of course, if we break above these highs and retest, then we will continue to look for buys. But honestly, I think the buys are pretty much finished. But this is option A. Option B. Option A is this right here. So that's what I have for on gold to start the week. Pretty self-explanatory. Does anybody have any questions about any of that? All right, cool. All right, so that's that. And let's move on to NASDAQ. NASDAQ last week. And then if you're brand spanking new to this call, if it's your first time joining on this call, go back and watch all of the live streams in the past. And then you can see literally every single time, every single week, week in and week out, we know where the market is going. Like once you understand the skill set, once you have the understanding of structure, you can know where the market is going. And week in, week out, I do this on a weekend, like I said, week in and week out basis, right? So with that being said, take what you want from that, but also understand that you should study it and figure out like, how do I know all of these things? And the reason why I know is because I follow structure. So just make sure y'all studying the live streams in the past and go look at the future and, you know, kind of like verify that I know what I'm talking about, right? So coming here on NAS, this is where we were looking at. We were looking for a price, the watch price here, because I was looking for. Tayshawn, you got your mic. You had your mic unmuted, so my bad, YouTube. But overall, what I was looking for was look watch price here. You can see that we got this break. We got a beautiful retest, and then we had beautiful buys last week on NAS. And then currently where we sitting at, we sitting on this trend line here. But before we get into that, let me go to the higher time frames. Higher time frames, very bullish on the weekly. Super simple. Last week we didn't really get any bearish engulfers or anything, so very still bullish on weekly. On the daily time frame, we did kind of get this bearish engulfing, but we still are forming uptrend structure, forming higher highs and higher lows. So we should be able to continue to make new highs up until the point where we break structure to the downside. So trading, it literally can be that simple. If y'all let it. It's just about, you know, the limitations you put on yourself, right? Coming down to H4, pretty much the same ordeal. Now we can put this trend line here. Oh, we already got it on here. So you can see my structure on H4 is that I had this low to this high, to this high. I mean, to this higher high, to this higher low. We're looking for a price to continue to make a new higher high based off of this fib structure. Oops, I think my screen froze. My trading view. Hold on, my trading view froze. Damn, did my whole computer freeze? Hold on, chat. My screen froze. I don't know what's going on. Can y'all still hear me, chat? All right, there we go. All right, we back in action. All right, so what I was getting at on H4 for NAS is that we had this trend line, we broke, we retested, we could continue to look to push up. Now, we are sitting at this level of support here, a support slash resistance. So before we take any buys, I would like to see this break above, retest to show that there's bullish momentum, so that we don't push back further. We'll push down further, right? Because this could still like pull it back deeper before going higher. So that's something to be mindful of. And that's just on H4. And then let's go down to our smaller time frames. H1, this is where understanding structure is super important. You can see that we got higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low. But on the H1 structure, you can see we kind of took out this low. It wasn't a clean break, but it was a break. So we got to be cautious because this can easily like reject this zone and push down deeper. But like I said, that's just something we got to be attentive to this week because the price is still overall still bullish, right? So we be mindful of that. Now, going down to the smaller time frames, M15, M30, we did just have this divergence here. And then we had this little minor breaker structure right here. So with bare minimum, what I can see is a pullback and then a continuation for a buy. What that'll look like, we might have some consolidation to start this week just because, like I said, we got Labor Day tomorrow. But this is what I'll be looking for a buy to continue up, and then watch price in this little area up here, which is this level of resistance here. And then if we break underneath there, retest, then we could continue to sell that down. But honestly, I'm more leaning more towards the buy side, but we just gotta wait and see. Now, let me just double check something real quick though. Yeah, so if we do sell, then it's gonna sell to this zone right here. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. And I'm just running through these fast because low key, I've been out all day and I'm kind of like my throat feel parched because I've been talking all day. So I'm trying to run through these as best as I can because I'm low key feeling tired as hell. But all right, so that's what I got for NASDAQ, and then US 30. Last week we were here. Literally, I predicted this pullback to the zone. I said, watch price here. What did price do? Price came to this area, respected it, and then pushed up for a beautiful buy. So literally, if y'all follow what I talk about on Sunday calls, y'all can make money just from literally the markups that I give y'all. So make sure y'all studying and not just coming on here just to get the markups and then try to like make a quick buck, but actually understand and study why, the reasons why I say the things that I say, because you can learn a lot, right? But like going back to US 30 weekly, very bullish. These last three candle sequence, bullish variation, looks good. We just broke above these highs on the weekly. On the daily time frame, we have some consolidation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a couple days of consolidation on the daily, but overall still bullish. H4 making definitive higher highs and higher lows, literally structure, impulse, correction, continuation. We in this correction phase. What should we expect? Continuation, right? Simple market structure, right? So let's move this out the way, and then based off of this structure, we should continue to look for the market to continue to print new highs. Now, this is a trend line that I want to be mindful of, but overall, our fib structure, point A to point B, our target is up here at this negative 27, but we just got to wait for this correction to finish before looking for a continuation. I'm not interested in any sales right now because we have not broken any structure. So this little annotation that I had down here would be the only time that I'm looking for sales on US 30 on that 1 hour time frame. Coming down to M30, we have the same concept. We have these higher highs and higher lows being formed, and then we broke structure, this little transitioning structure here. So what I'll be waiting on is a pullback for a retest. This would be a good place to set alert, this trend line, before looking for that continuation. So let me give that, let me find me a ghost pattern that resembles that. I don't like that one, hold on. All right, so something like this, break, retest, and push up to the highs. That's what I'm looking for. Somebody asked, did I go over gold already? Yeah, you just gotta rewind it. All right, so that's what I'm looking for to start the week. Pretty self-explanatory. A couple good setups on the horizon this week, and then hold on, let me. Do you plan on trading tomorrow with it being a holiday, or are you sitting out? It just depends. Like if it's a setup that's clear as day, I'll take it, but I also understand that it can be some consolidation. So I'm not gonna like expect the whole move to play out with it being a bank holiday. But if it's a clear setup and it give me my entry signal, I'll take it. But that's only if my alerts go off because I don't plan on being inside of the market like actively tomorrow because I got a lot of stuff to do. But if my alert goes off and I see it, then I'll take it. But I'm like, just like just like having a job, when you get the day off, enjoy your day off. Like you don't really want to, come to work if you don't got to. So that's how I would see it. Would you consider a divergence on a 4-hour time frame? If you're talking about US 30, where we at right now? Not really. No, not really. Hopefully I answered your question. But all right, Chad. Do anybody else got any questions? Cause like I said, I'm not gonna be on here too long. But I didn't want to cancel class. But I wanted to make sure I gave y'all everything. Make sure that y'all are inside of the chart runners chat, and then I'll give y'all some updates this week for sure. I might. Don't hold me to this, but actually, I'm not even gonna say it because if I do say it, y'all gonna hold me to it, and then I'll much rather once I make the decision. But I'm thinking about. Oh wait, I forgot one thing. Y'all, go watch my new YouTube video. And I'm gonna show y'all the one I'm talking about because I gave a lot of sauce in that. And go watch this one right here. This one. You watch this one, I'm telling you, your trade ain't gonna be on the next level, right? So go watch that. Go watch that video. It's a lot of, even though the thumbnail don't look like it's a day trading video, it's a day trading video. But that was just the intro, right? So go watch that. That's the most recent video that I have on the channel, but that is the video where I'm pretty much breaking down my current strategy that I've been trading, for the last, I don't know, since 2019. And there's people out here that think that I ain't even gonna speak on that, but yeah. So if you want to watch my strategy video, how I trade the markets, that's a little bit more detailed in comparison to these live chart breakdowns. Then you can watch that video and it kind of give you step by step. Even though some of that portion of that video got cut out, I don't know. Like I was recording it on OBS Studios, and then somehow like I don't know if it's an AI feature on here, but it was like clipping parts where I was like being like silent. Like if I didn't say anything on there, it would like clip the part. But then it clipped a little bit too much when I did begin to talk again. So yeah, I don't know. But overall, like I said, watch that video because it has a lot of information on there. And then also, if you want to watch, let me just show y'all something real quick. So if y'all come to this profile and watch all of this, go to this, the oldest videos. Go to market structure. Literally, this is 4 years ago. Literally, this is 4 years ago when I first got on. Well, it was actually 5 years ago, but it hasn't. Well, almost 5 years ago. But go to this video, and before this pops up, after this pops up, go to this market structure, 3 phases, and post correction continuation, and then pay attention that like. Of course, like I said, I've been trading this strategy for I don't know how long, right? Since I've been trading. But you can kind of see how like I've tweaked things and made it a little bit more I don't even know how to word it, but it's like I'm very more particular on how I do things now, but it's a good learning opportunity to see like how things evolve, even though it's the same exact strategy, but just how things evolve. But this was my very first video when I went over the 3 phases: impulse, correction, continuation inside of the market. Like I said, that was back in 2021. So if you know, you know, but do your research on all of that stuff. And yeah. So with that being said, go watch those videos this week. Study that. Study everything that I got on my channel because it's there for a reason. But overall, with that being said, I hope y'all have a beautiful, blessed week this week, and then I will update y'all inside of my Telegram chat. So make sure if y'all in my Telegram, or if y'all not in my Telegram chat, hit the link in the description to get access. And if you want access to my free signals chat as well, definitely follow the pinned post inside of my free Telegram chat. So if you want the signals, you got to make sure that you in the original free Telegram chat, which is the chart runners chat. Then I will give you the directions to get access to the free signals chat. And like I said, we caught over 400 pips on gold last week in the signals chat. We actually didn't take any losses, right? So with that being said, I will see y'all again next Sunday at the original scheduled time. Like I said, I apologize for being a little late today, but I'll see y'all again next week, and I'll see y'all in